Welcome to On the Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good, mate. Tough weekend last week.
Was.
But an exciting weekend of racing this weekend, and both at Flemington and Rosehill. So two Group 1s. And the first Group 1 is the Makybe Diva Stakes, weight for age over 1600 metres, and a real key race for the spring ahead, Lenny.
It is. The spring's starting to heat up now when you see this race come along, so good to see. There's a few good Flemington horses in here, Dave, namely Faulkner and Green Moon.
Yep.
I think Messine will probably lead in this race. There'll probably just be an even tempo. Dissonant was obviously pretty dominant last start, but I'd like to see him do it again before I fell into the $3.30 on offer. I think Boban's the best miler in Australia, and he isn't penalised at the weight for age conditions of the race. He's had 2 runs in this time, and he was pretty good last start behind Dissonant. He was 3 wide, no cover, and still got home. He's 3 from 4 at the trip, and I think $4.60. I think he's a good bet.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of natural leaders in this race. So they're not going to run the first 800 very quick, and should give the on-pacers a bit of an advantage, I would have thought. The likely 2 on-pacers are Dissonant and Messine. Dissonant tends to over-race in his races slightly, so be advantageous for him to get a cart behind Messine and this outsider Don DeRimo or something that's come off a maiden win. I don't know what he's even doing in the race.
Yeah.
But based on those tactics, it'll make it hard for the backmarkers and the stayers to get wound up and catch these leaders, I would have thought. Personally, mate, I think Dissonant's a moral. I don't see how they beat him again off a slow pace. The way the race is going to be run, I think it's the race shape just suits his racing style, and can't see how the older horses will match his finishing sprint. I know he's $3 instead of $12 this week, but for me, I just think he wins. I think he'll beat Messine. The second Group 1 is the $1 million Golden Rose for 3-year-olds over 1400 metres at Rosehill, and a real stallion-making race, mate.
It is.
Who do you like in the Golden Rose?
I don't think it's a vintage field this year, Dave, but I still think there's some nice enough horses. I think with the improving track,
yep.
You might sort of get a slow 6, maybe might even get a touch better. Brings Elmerad into contention. I don't think he was ready first up. I think she
didn't like the heavy track.
And didn't like the heavy, just didn't get through it at all. I think he's a pretty smart horse. Whether he's been set for the Golden Rose or is peaking a little bit later, but I still think he won a Group 1 in Brisbane over a mile. I think the 1400 at this stage and the prep's going to suit, and obviously the improving track, and I think $10 on offer is great each way value. Yep.
Good race this. Dead set, I think this is a race in 2 though. The unbeaten Hallowed Crown still has enormous upside about him. He's got the services of Huey Bowman aboard, and he won the run to the Rose by putting them all away in a matter of 100 metres when he let down with his sprint. His only problem is he's drawn barrier 14, so he'll get back in the run. He'll be in the second half of the field. But if the track is slightly rain affected, I think swooping out wide won't be a disadvantage, and it'll probably be the better surface. And he can still let down with his devastating sprint. I really think he's a very classy horse. I think he can potentially come to Melbourne and be a major force in the feature 3-year-olds. He's $5 second favourite. Still think he's good value. And I do have to declare that I backed him at $51 at the start of August for this race, so I'm sitting pretty at the moment. His main danger for mine is the Moody trained Betterland. He should have won his last start at Randwick in the up and coming if it wasn't for 2 severe checks he received in the straight by the wayward horse Liberation. He's had 3 weeks off. He shows good gate speed. I reckon he might land 4th, 1 out, 1 back. Blake Shin on board, who's riding with a bit of confidence at the moment. He's got a bit of unknown talent and upside, this horse. He's the one capable of surprising Hallowed Crown for mine. So I'll definitely save on him, and I like the Quinella for plenty. He's $7 fixed, and I'm pretty confident one of the 2 of them will actually win this race personally, but we'll see next week. Stable news, Lenny. Any stable news this week?
Dave just got the catalogue for the Patnack sale.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Which is pretty exciting. Just going through the horses in that. So
selling them again.
Selling them again.
Tried to sell them
he's not buying them back this time. So yeah, no, looking forward to that sale coming up. Also looking forward to watching Long Mac run around in the Dream colours tomorrow.
Yeah, Long Mac selected by Bluegrass at last year's English Premier sale in Melbourne. He goes around at Geelong today, in a 0 to 64 3-year-old race over 1,300 metres. There's been 2 scratchings already, so there's actually only 7 horses in the race. And I thought actually one of the scratchings was one of his main dangers, so pretty happy about that. And I think he's got a nice opportunity to win, mate. Yeah, it's a nice race for him. Good stepping stone. Chosen Moment and Arnina trolling again this morning, and they're set to run the following week, so I'll give you more details in next week's edition of On The Bit. And the 2-year-old Time Thief filly, mate, she jumped out at Mornington last Friday, just ran about 400 metres. It was her first time in barriers at Mornington, so she did miss the kick slightly. But her turn of acceleration was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, she looks like she's got a motor there.
Yeah.
Definitely, Dave. Yeah, I know Wes was really happy with the way she went, and we sold a Time Thief this year to Hong Kong for quite a fair bit of money, winning a trial at Cranbourne, and the guy that did all the pre-work on that colt commented that this filly gives him a nicer feel than that colt. So
that's
just quite interesting.
So we've got a lot of potential with that filly. She actually looks like she's going to trial in a couple of weeks at Cranbourne, but she's been pretty popular. I've actually only got 5% left in her, but if anybody wants a precocious 2-year-old running type, she's definitely worth getting involved in. So you can give me a call. I'll leave my.
I've got that race that we're setting her for, Dave, which is the Clockwise Classic in October at Ballarat, worth 200 or 250?
200,000, It's only for Magic Millions horses, and she's a Magic Millions horse, and we're setting her for that race specifically. So anyone who wants to get involved will get hopefully a quick return on their investment. I'll leave my mobile number at the end of in the credits on the bit today, so if you want to get in contact. Best on breeding, Lenny. Who's your best on breeding this week?
Race 1 at Flemington, Lumosity. She's by the champion Australian stallion in Fastnet Rock, out of a Bachelor Duke mare, stands in New Zealand, Bachelor Duke, called Luminous Eyes. She was purchased for $185,000 from the 2013 EC Yearling sale. Luminous Eyes was a Group 3 winner in Leopardstown in Ireland, and was imported. It's an international family which excels at 14 to 1600 metres. A lot of black print around that sort of distance, and I think this filly's going to be suited by the 1200 down the straight.
Very nice. Value bets, I'm giving you the same value bet as a couple of weeks ago. Race 8, number 3, Flamberge. I just can't believe this guy's $6 fixed odds again. No one seems to read form. He's had 3 starts at Flemington at the 1200. He's won 2, and the only time he was unplaced, he ran 5th in the Group 1 Newmarket behind Lankan Rupee, only beaten 4 lengths, which is a good result. And this is no Newmarket field. He comes from barrier 4. He's likely to be in the leading bunch off what I think is only going to be a steady pace. He'll kick strongly again. I just think he wins again. So I'm back on Flamberge. On the bit, Lenny. Who's your on the bit special this week, mate?
Oh, I reckon I've made him on the bit a couple of times. Catkins, eh?
Oh yeah, you're a big favourite of yours,
big favourite. Running for Jam, I reckon. Very well weighted. Great race. She's it's only 4 kilos spread in the weights, and she's got Group 1 ability. This mare against the fillies, but I think she's 4 from 6 first up. Loves it wet. The track will be rain affected, won't be a bog, but it will be wet, so that's going to suit her. She loves the distance as well. She'll just settle. There's a good speed in the race, which I think she'll settle 3rd or 4th, and there's currently 210 on offer. I think at the top of the straight she'll just be pulling around them, and
she's a very reliable sort of mare, that Catkins. I'm on the bit with Flemington Race 3, number 7, Sign Off, a son of Authorised. I just think he's an absolute moral on Saturday, this thing. He raced at Caulfield last start over 1400 and never got out of a pocket on the rails. He steps up to 1700 on a big track, drawn barrier 10, he'll settle midfield, and I just think he'll blow this field away over the last 200 metres. A real spring hopeful, this horse, and maybe even a potential Cups horse. And more importantly, he's $4.60 fixed. He's on the bit. Get on now. Off the bit, Lenny. Who we're laying for the weekend?
We're going race 2 at Flemington. Kieran Maher's horse, which I like following Kieran Maher's horse. He does a good job. But marksmanship. I think he's a pretty smart horse, and I don't think it's a strong race. But I really think that he's a horse that needs a sting out of the track.
Yep.
And last start at Caulfield, he had a really nice run. He was fresh, but he just didn't ping, when he probably should have. And the wins that he's had in Australia have been on sort of slow 6, slow 7 tracks. It's going to be pretty firm there at Flemington on Saturday. And
I think it's a good 3, yeah.
I think that will find him out the last bit.
Yep. I'm off the bit with Flemington race 8, number 5, Al Rocker. A little birdie told me that after his setback, he'll be in need of this run first up. And he's being set for the Rupert Clark second up. So he's only using this race as a bit of a pipe opener. His favourite fixed odds, I think he's been backed. But my word is, stay away, he's off the bit. So fantastic day of racing at Flemington, and backed up by a great meeting at Rosehill. Hopefully it'll improve the track. So good luck with your punting, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.